Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. OMG, it's been a crazy day. It has been absolutely a roller coaster ride of emotions for a lot of people. It has been quite a big deal, okay? It's been a big deal, and it's because of Superman, my favorite superhero in the entire world. It had to be about Superman. Okay, it had to be about Superman. And it started off pretty bad. I gotta say, it started off really bad when you get a report from not from like not from Heroic Hollywood, not from any of these other comic book movie sites and whatever. The Hollywood Reporter reporting that Henry Cavill and Warner Brothers are parting ways on Superman. And when you hear something like that, you hear something from the Hollywood Reporter, you're like, oh my God, no, it just can't be real. This can't be real. I got this tropical storm upon us, and we're getting news of Superman not being Superman anymore. Henry Cavill is Superman of the modern age. And right now, I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who can be Superman. But right now, in this terms of this universe, this DC Extended Universe, he's the man. He's the guy. How are you going to have Gal Gadot be Wonder Woman, and Jason Momoa be Aquaman, and Ezra Miller be Flash, and then, there's also this thing about Ben Affleck. But how you have all that and not have Henry Cavill, who started it all, as Superman? He started, just skyrocketed, launched this universe, and him not being Superman, that is just ballistic crazy and whatever. It was nuts. So Hollywood Reporter did that. It started trending. In fact, this whole news broke the internet like 3 times, I think. It was like 3 times, right? Because the first one came out and it was that. It was Henry Cavill, Warner Brothers parting ways. Henry Cavill leaving, Henry Cavill departing, and the news ran everywhere and everywhere. And it was about sources, no-name sources, talking about this stuff and going ballistic and crazy that they're departing ways. They're going to focus on Supergirl. And I got to say something about that Hollywood Reporter article, which is really weird, is that they're saying something like, oh, Supergirl was supposed to be in the teens. Having Superman as an infant doesn't work with DC in the DC lore. Doesn't work with his current DCEU. And it's like, are you kidding me? That's the origin of Super. That have you not even? Do you not know Supergirl? Okay, so of course she's gonna be in her teens and she lands on Earth and he's no longer an infant. He's an older super. It'll work, all right? Come on. That's just a weird excuse to say that Superman won't work. It's just a weird, very weird excuse. And it's almost like they haven't really researched Supergirl at all and how Supergirl is supposed to happen. But anyway, aside from that, they talk about The Witcher, and they're talking about scheduling conflicts with Shazam, because we all kind of thought that he was going to have a cameo role in Shazam. And Humberto Gonzalez, of course, a scooper, comes out and says, yes, he was supposed to have a scene, he was going to be at the end where he kind of like, we got to look out for this guy, Shazam, Billy Batson, we're looking out on you, that kind of thing. And that was supposed to be the cameo scene. Not exactly the cameo scene I would have liked, instead of having Clark talk to him, I don't know, Superman talk to him, but that was supposed to happen, apparently, according to Humberto, who his sources also confirmed this news, and all these other things. We got people from all sites just saying, oh, Henry Cavill's the best Superman, the best, and stuff like that. So it was trending like crazy. Of course, it got out of hand because people were crying on the streets, and I was like freaking out. But then Dany Garcia, who is the managing rep for Henry Cavill, also The Rock, comes out and says, pretty much saying, hold on, he's still got the cape in his closet. They very much have a great partnership with Warner Brothers and something like that. There should be in a Warner Brothers official statement later on. And then the statement came out. So it broke the internet again, right? Again. And then the statement came out. It was like almost the most non-statement, those political statements, those corporate sayings that you've ever heard. It really is. It's like a non-thing. It's not a denial, non-confirmation. It said this: while no decisions have been made regarding any upcoming Superman films, we've always had great respect for and a great relationship with Henry Cavill, and that remains unchanged. What does that mean? Like, it means we're back to square one. We didn't talk about anything, or we did, and we're not going to say where there's no decisions were made. We have a great respect for and great relationship with Henry Cavill. That remains unchanged. It really is a no issue. It kind of just took away the article, even though sources from the article, whatever, they have heard and things like that, right? And so all that has happened. And then in the meantime, I'm going to talk about this more later. In the meantime, Zack Snyder's over on Vero posts this picture, this awesome storyboard of what we all thought was the first flight. And I thought it was the first flight from Man of Steel, because I figured he's not even posting Justice League pictures anymore. But according to Dave, Peanut Film Junkie, he says he can pretty much confirm that is first flight 2.0. Oh, Superman had a second flight when he gets resurrected in Justice League and flies out. He's got the little smile as he's out in space and he shoots back down to save everybody. We could have got that. But anyway, he says that's not an S, and we all know what happens after that means that stands for hope. So we know that line, right? It is coincidental that happened right after this Superman Henry Cavill debacle. Of course, he says that it was news to him, and that could be true. Coincidences do happen in life. But I thought that was really, really interesting. So I don't know what he means by that. Why today he decided to put out a storyboard and possibly Justice League First Flight 2.0. I'm really interested to see what comes of this. I think there's going to be a lot more coming down the pipeline. But initially, that was an incredible thing. But more on that later. The third time the internet breaks again about Henry Cavill Superman is when Superman himself, Henry Cavill, goes on Instagram. He goes on Instagram, right? And he gets, I'm going to try to do it. I can't grab the other Superman here, but let me try to see if I can do that. I am going to try to copy his move here. So, he gets, this is not the figure that he does. Okay, so he gets this. He just looks at the camera. He goes up, and then he comes back down. That's it, with some music playing. That's all that happens in that little video. And I'm like, okay, well, what the heck does that mean? What does that mean? Some people are like, it's half-mast, meaning it's like, when someone died and they want to honor him, they put the flag at half-mast. All right, again, you're thinking below, the hopeful stuff, but okay. But he's thinking that also he had a Krypton, Team Krypton shirt. Okay, so obviously, maybe he's trying to say that it's Superman. Yeah, I'm still Superman, right? He's not jumping for joy or anything, but then he posts on the bottom, says that today was exciting. So it's not a negative. It is more towards a positive. Now, when Dany Garcia said it was brilliant, she commended his, or she did haha to his joke on whatever it was on Instagram, either trying to reel it back or something, the negative news. But it seems like he may still be Superman. We're not sure what he's trying to say. Is he, when he goes up, he means he was Superman, and now when he goes back down, he's no longer Superman? You can go into a lot of details, and maybe you're looking at too far into it, and you go down this super rabbit hole, if you will. But so what does that mean? I don't know. I really don't know. What does anything mean today? What it has accomplished, though, was it did break the internet like almost 3 times. More than 180,000 tweets later of Henry Cavill and Superman, and it's amazing that it really did break the internet today. It was trending a lot. And that just shows how much power this thing. Imagine if this is just an incredible contract negotiation ploy in order to renegotiate the contract to show how much name Henry Cavill leaving Superman could very well be. And they're either testing it out in the waters or they're trying to see if anybody even cares about it. And you bet your butt they do care. We all care. I care. We all care about this. Look at all the YouTube videos coming out. And probably the last. And you're probably tired of hearing this. But it's amazing. It's amazing how much people want Henry Cavill to be Superman. And come on. He's right there. He's got it. Even though a lot of people are like, he's not the right story. Sorry, I'm coming down with something. But it's such a huge shock this morning, and you really think about it, and all the news that comes up after it, you have a whole roller coaster of emotions of surprise and denial and all these things, sadness and then hopefulness and things like that. And it just shows you how important he is in this DC extended universe. By the way, even on a DC site themselves, right? For I think DC Universe, or I forget what site, they actually says DC extended universe. So they really are using that term. It's almost pretty much official by unofficially, but officially in a way when they put that out. But right now, I can't see anybody else as Superman. I know my friend said Matt Bomer, and I know Matt Bomer was one of the few individuals who was looking at to be Superman a while back, and I've seen his names, I've seen his fan manips so many times, even during the time Brandon Routh. Okay, so anyway, but Henry Cavill appears to be still Superman, as he kind of pretty much remarks. Dany Garcia also remarks about that. Film Junkie, who also has his own sources, has also remarked about that, saying that he is, as of right now, still Superman. And this could just be a huge contract negotiating, leveraging power or whatever, as he has become a bigger star after Mission Impossible Fallout. And I don't know if it's about money. Maybe he's trying to get more money. Maybe they want to get him more money and stuff like that. They don't want to pay him that much, but I think he really deserves it in times of sense. So, I mean, the whole debacle about the box office Justice League, it's not Henry Cavill's fault, man. It's, you know whose fault it is? You know whose fault it is. You know whose fault it is. You really do. You already canned those guys already. They're gone, okay? So it's not, don't put this on the actors and actresses. Every one of those guys deserved everything, okay? It's the people involved in dismantling that movie. And what movie was that? And that was Justice League. And so this is interesting now. So we're going to go into some tinfoil territory. It is kind of hot. I do not want to wear the tinfoil hat. It burns my head. But if this is, okay, this is a symbol. It's tinfoil territory, guys. Tinfoil territory. All right, so Henry Cavill, Superman, and Zack Snyder had posted a shot. Now, he did post a Vero post the other day, and this is almost like an extension to the other ones if you are in the tinfoil hat territory. He says that there's a chair. He's just measuring his chair. He's just putting his chair, trying to see how his chair looks like in his new office. Oh, I don't know. That's a chair. Director's chair. Oh, okay. Director's chair. Oh, I get it. It's kind of funny. Director's chair. And then he, supposedly put out a storyboard of Justice League First Flight 2.0. And then we got Henry Cavill here talking about Superman. Well, Henry Cavill, he pulls up a box, a Superman box. And no, that's not Black Panther on the sticker. That's just showing the articulations. I've seen that toy. So, nothing about Black Panther. I'm not going to even talk about Michael B. Jordan. That's ridiculous. But it's a box of Superman box. And he pulls it up, and that box is from That is the Superman, Justice League Superman. So what does that mean? For the tinfoil hat fans out there, okay, for the tinfoil hat fans out there, you like talking crazy, like talking controversies and conspiracy theories and stuff. I love to. Yeah, it's fun. And so I would think that the Snyder Cut may be part of the play here. There could be something going on with the Snyder Cut, and I think it's still going on. There's possibly, it's not an S, it stands for hope, and that hope is Superman, and that we'll actually finally get to see the Snyder Cut. Maybe. Who knows? That's just my tinfoil hat news. But that's for something that could be later on in pipeline. I don't know how soon that's going to be. I think the teasings and things like that are seemingly to be ramping up. And I can't wait to see what's going on with that. But I'd say one of the most important things is that Henry Cavill remains a Superman. I think that will work out for the rest of the universe. Who knows what happens with Ben Affleck? I hope he stays as well. But it just feels like they're coming back, right? I mean, it does feel like they're coming. I mean, Hans Zimmer is coming back. Not Junkie XL, although he's doing Mortal Engines, which is Warner Brothers property. And you see all these people hopefully coming together to... I don't think it's going to be, the Snyderverse again, but I do think they're going to give opportunities to hopefully expand their fans. This is my, water half full, not half empty outlook on this. And this whole negotiation thing was a huge ploy to see how popular Henry Cavill as being Superman is definitely being. And I think they've showed it today. That you definitely want Henry. There is a definitely market out there who enjoys and loves Henry Cavill as Superman. So hopefully we'll get to see that. Hopefully we will get to see him as Superman for several more movies out. And if that's not the case, we would love to see him one last time. And you already got that footage. You got it in your warehouse. I don't know where you got it. Maybe Zack Snyder has it. You got it. Release the Snyder Cut. That's where Superman is. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Let's cross our fingers, guys, and I'll see you next time.